Shabbat Shalom to all of you. The parasha of this week, Beshallach, is a very interesting portion. It's a continuation about the Yexiah, the exit of Israel from Egypt. Now, if you read from the beginning, you know what it says, Vayehi Beshallach pero es ha'am belonachem Elohim derech erech. Philistine. And what he say is that when the Pharaoh, let the people, Israel, go out. And here the question is, who let the people go out? Was the Creator or was Pharaoh? And there is a confusion about this. And I want to explain to you that in that confusion is because always this idea that the one that brought all of this together was the Creator. But the reality is, we look in the physical way, was Moshe Rabbeinu who keep asking Pharaoh, let my people go. Now, here is a very important principle of the Torah. And this is the principle that we are going to see in this portion. And the principle of the Torah is what man can do, the Creator won't do it for us. In Judaism, we have this very strong principle. And the principle is that the Creator gave us Bechira Chofshi, free will. In that manner, we could exercise our will and to do our own things. There are religions that they teach you total dependency on their God, to the point they annul their will, supposedly. I totally depend on God, they say. I surrender to God. I don't do anything if God doesn't tell me. And God. And we, the Jewish people, were totally the opposite. Sometimes you're going to hear among us and say, leave the Creator alone. Start living your life. Start doing what you have to do. And this dependency is very nocive because it doesn't allow you to grow. You have this idea that I have been telling you from the beginning, the last week, about giving birth, a nation. And this nation has a baby. A baby for a period of time is totally dependent on the mother. To the point that a baby, after a while, doesn't know that he's separated from the mother. They say that at the 2 years old baby, finally the toddler, start realizing that he is an individual. He doesn't need to be any longer attached to the mother. But I'm going to tell you one thing. There are mothers that they forgot to cut the umbilical cord. And they do not let the children to grow up. And then sometimes both sides, they aid and abet each other. The Creator is going to give us principle here to show us that there is a process. And the process is the child needs to grow and needs to go to a learning experience, a learning process. But learning means also responsibility. If you learn something, it's for you to apply in your life. We're going to see in the next parasha, Jethro, that we're going to see when we receive the 10 words. And the 10 words are the basic principle of life. For us not to know that I have read it or I know it, as today we say it, but it's to live it, to apply it in our life. And that is the term that we use about Shomer Torah. Shomer Torah is not only about talking about it. It's living, walking with. That means the halakha. To walk on the side, to go. Now, one of the things that I would like to emphasize here this morning is in this special portion that's very interesting. They have left. The Creator knows that Israel is not prepared to a milchama, to a war. You know? And he's going, and if you see the map of the Goshen where they were living, okay? By the way, most of the ideas about what was the circuit that Israel took to go to the Promised Land is totally wrong. Okay, that was an invention, and that's totally wrong. The real route that they take is totally different, and the what we call it, the Horeb or the Har Sinai, the mountain of Sinai, is in Saudi Arabia. It's not in the Sinai Peninsula. And this is the discovery. Even at the time of Yirmiyahu, at the time, interestingly, at the time of Shlomo HaMelech, the King Solomon, they say that his mother went there and she put a plaque or plate in that area. They knew what it was, the Har Sinai, the Mount Horeb. And you look at the geography, you are going to see something very interesting. The Moabites, that Moshe Rabbeinu went, the Midianites, the Midianites and Moabites were in the same line, but the Midianites that he went and married Zipporah are in the line of the what is today Saudi Arabia, okay? Saudi Arabia and Jordan. This is the area. Anyway, what I mentioned all of you to you because there are many things that we have accepted blindly without really knowing what the facts are. There's the reason that historical backgrounds always is very important and to understand the scriptures and the revelation of the Creator. And here, the Creator is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, take them a different route. And this route is to avoid an encounter with the Philistines because they are not prepared for war yet. What is the psyche of the new Israel, the newborn nation? You know, they were slaves, and they have been slaves for a long time. At least 2 generations, they were already slaves, really even more than that. But I say only at least to give you an idea how their mentality has been changed. When you grew up with a slave mentality, doesn't matter if they take you to someplace else. You are going to keep with the slave mentality. Long time ago, when I used to live in United States, I used to be a chaplain in a big penitentiary. And in this place, I had the opportunity to meet interns. And one time they allowed them to go out, they finished the punishment or whatever it was, the time that they needed to serve in prison, they will go out. And many of them couldn't survive in the free world. And they will commit some kind of petty crime in order to be sent them back. Because they couldn't get accustomed to the freedom. Because they had lived for so long in a place that they told them at what time to get up, at what time to eat, at what time to take a bath, at what time to go this, and what time to do this, that everything was done for them. Well, Israel had a mentality. Now, think about this. The question is this: why the Creator changed the mentality of Israel in a second? He couldn't do that in a hocus pocus. Why he didn't do it? Why he didn't say, you know, you were a slave and now you are no any longer a slave. Boom, you're free. Why he didn't do that? If he has taken thy streams of 10 plagues, now we are going to see here in this portion how it deal with the Egyptians who persecuted Israel. And now how Israel reacted to this persecution. Immediately, Israel turned their back on Moshe Rabbeinu and turned their back on the Creator. What you have brought us here? There were not enough tombs in Egypt that you needed to bury us here in the middle of the desert. Let's go back to Egypt. Let's go back, and we were there better. By the way, that has not been so different that now that today that we are remembering the Yom Zikaron, the Shoah. Many at the time in Europe, when this horrible man, this monster, Hitler, came out, and they start seeing those changes, and there were voices and saying, you need to leave, you need to leave, you need to leave. From there, many decided to stay because that won't last too long. That is going to change. And then it was too late. And they suffered the consequences of that terrible death and slavery. Our people, because they didn't react on time. Here the principle is, don't wait for a salvation from heaven because you need to act first. Sometimes there are a lot of teachings, especially the teaching about the Messiah, Mashiach. Right now we have a group, and there is a very, very strong religious group, Nature Carta, that they are very, very strong in their beliefs. And they are totally against Israel. And one of the reasons they are totally against Israel is because Mashiach didn't start this Israel, and this is a false Israel. They are waiting for the coming of Mashiach, and to the point that they are in favor of the Palestinians being Jews. They have gone to Iran. Again, they're trying to destroy Israel. Because for them, the worst thing that they have done, the Jewish people, is to create the state of Israel when Mashiach didn't come. That's not what the Torah teaches. The Torah teaches totally different. The Jewish principle is, you need to do what you can do, and the thing that we cannot do, we need to let it to the Creator. If you are with me in Shemo, in Exodus 14, this is when, from verse 10, and the Israelites saw advancing Pharaoh, who was getting close, and the Egyptians were marching against the Israelites. And the Israelites, they had a lot of fear, and they claim to the Lord. And they complain to Moshe Rabbeinu. There was not enough tombs in Egypt that you brought us here to die in the desert. Let me ask you this question. They have seen already this 10 plagues. They have seen how the Creator have worked with Pharaoh, how Pharaoh finally needed to surrender. They saw that. And they didn't live on their own accord, and they were happy living like you see the 10 Commandments, in the movie. It's just the opposite. The Israel left saying, don't push me, don't push me, don't push me. And the Egyptians were giving money, giving gold, giving wealth, but please, get out. They throw them out. It was for Israel at that time, they will stay in Egypt. Doesn't matter. Don't push me too much, that's all. But we want to stay here. They were comfortable. The comfort of what they knew to the unknown. And they needed to, for the first time, not to depend on any power, a human power, but to depend on themselves. That's what the Creator hates, slavery. That is the reason that the Creator hates oppression. That is the reason why the Creator hates any type of power upon other people, exploitation. Right now we have countries in the world that they are exploiting, they are oppressing their own people. And some are happy to live in that way. And that's very sad. Because the Creator gave us the free will. And this is what He wanted for us to exercise our free will. Nobody's born knowing. Nobody is born knowing everything. Totally the contrary. We start from zero and we are adding knowledge to ourselves. Experiences. The person who really risks something is the person who is going to advance and win. Why? Because if you are static, you will never advance. You will never be successful. Success means that you try. Success means that you fail and you try it again. But when you are static, you don't go nowhere. When you are paralyzed, you don't go nowhere. When you're full of fears, you cannot do anything. You are stuck. And listen carefully here. Moshe Rabbeinu say to the people, verse 12 say, we didn't tell you in Egypt that please don't bother us, and allow us to work to the Egyptians. This is the newly people that has been brought to freedom. It's your fault. We were happy here. And they forgot how they were crying and complaining. This is a true Israel. Because our saying sometimes they want to make it, elevate it into a position. The Torah is too honest. I'm talking about us. Don't put ourselves in a pedestal. Don't put us as a heroes. Let's see what the scriptures say. And what Moshe Rabbeinu say, wait. They say, please don't be afraid. Stand up firm and see what the Lord will do What the Creator? He will save you, because the Egyptian never more will come back to bother you. The Lord will fight for you, and please, shut up. I'm giving the emphasis here that you understand. Moshe was hiding. I had it. These people don't see it. All that they have gone through and is still blinded. They say, Unga, like babies. And then, I love verse 14 because that throws you out, throws all of our sages out too. And then, verse 15. ויאמר אדוני אל משה, מה תקסק? אלי דבר אל בני ישראל, וייסעו. The Lord asked Moses, why you keep crying? Why you keep screaming? Shut up and go. Keep going. To poor Moshe. Moshe was becoming a cheerleader. You know, don't worry. God is going to work for you. And he said, you know, you want to save your life? Run. That's what he's saying. You want to save your life? Prepare yourself. But I will have the sea in front of us. Jump. Jump to the water. You know, we have a midrash about that the first one who jumped to the water was Hur. You know, and everybody followed him. But look at this miracle that is very interesting. And this is the essence of Judaism to me. The Creator is going to do the impossible things for men to do. But the rest is left up to them. You know, when he opened the sea, and it's very clear and said that was dry, you know, I mean that was you could run through it. But they had carts, and they had elderly people. And I imagine that there were rocks there in the middle, no? And they needed to push. You know, they were open, but, you know, maybe muddy, and to push the car. And you know, if the Creator was so extraordinary, so great, so fabulous, and he could do any miracle, why at that time didn't bring a Boeing 747 and cross them? Maybe I am too far away. But at that time, they believed in the flying carpets. Now, what he didn't put in the flying carpets? What he did? He told them to cross themselves. With the fear that they have, the Egyptians on their back. And the Creator already has put his presence. His angels were behind, and they had a cloud that didn't allow the Egyptians to see what is going on. Suddenly, when the cloud is lifted up, they see that they are already crossing the Red Sea. And Pharaoh, in his craziness, he couldn't accept that he has been defeated by the Creator, not by the Israelites. The Israelites didn't shoot anything. The Israelites they were all armed, but they didn't know what to do with the arms. They were running for their life. Fear makes you run. And they were crying, and I'm sure that complaining, why you do that to us? Why you don't push it? For them was destroy them, stop them there. And here comes one of the most gruesome things. When they finally, Israel crossed the Red Sea and get all the army of the Egyptians, the top line of the Egyptians, the strongest empire at that time, with the best weapons of the time, with the atomic bomb, everything that they have it. And the Creator closed with Moshe Rabbeinu the sea, and all that army was destroyed. Pharaoh survived that to be a witness of what he has done with his stubbornness. He has destroyed his own people. And Egypt was never more what it needed to be. Here is a very important corollary that I would like that all of us will learn it. Yes, the Creator does things for us and protect us. But we are responsible for our own actions. And He won't do something that you can do for yourselves. And you are waiting for the Creator to do something for you. Don't waste your time. He gave you health. He gave you intelligence. He gave you energy. He gave you everything. Now you start doing it. You know what is the worst thing that's happening, especially here in Canada? The welfare system. And sometimes we do not understand that when I say to you this. And I know this for a fact. If you are in welfare system, for example, simple thing, you can go to a dentist, okay, and they don't charge you. But if you have a meager, very small amount of money you're suffering, and you don't have enough money, but you are not in welfare system, you cannot afford a dentist. And then your mouth fall apart. Then what is the message there? It's better to be in welfare than to work on your own and to prosper. And why the government does that? They call it socialist sometimes. And they are not, because they create a bureaucracy. And that bureaucracy is interesting because I have been there talking to these people. They supposedly need to serve you, the taxpayer. But they say, what do you want? Get away. And they are paid by your pocket, by your sweat. But they think that they own the country. We are backwards. And we are teaching and we are accepting that slavery system. To me, it's slavery. You surrender your will and I take care of you. The Creator is teaching us just the opposite. You need to be strong. In Israel, since the new Israel was formed, they start the conscript, the new soldiers, young men and women. And they will have a ceremony in Masada. And you know what they say still today? No ever more. We do not surrender. Never surrender. We have learned through the hard times that every time that Israel allows other people to do a fight, we lose. Sometimes you don't understand Israel, and you think Israel is the bad, because the whole media is against Israel. The question is, why they hate us so much? What we have done to the world? Totally the contrary. This little bitty country has more goods given to the world than any other country in the world. Why they hate us so much? The reason is very simple. The hate is spiritual. It's totally envy, as Pharaoh had envy on Israel. Then, let me finish in this simple way. I always like to ask you questions. I hope that you. What are you doing for your own life that is leading you to be free of slavery? Or are you crossing your arms and saying, God is going to do it for me? Young people, you have everything ahead of you. This is the time that you need to be thinking with your head, not with your hormones or your heart. You need to think with the heart that gives you the intuition and gives you the initiative. First of all, when I used to be professor in the university and I used to counsel students, and the student will come to me and say, Rabbi, at that time I was not rabbi, sorry, professor, teacher. No, professor, because the university. Sorry, teacher is for secondary. Professor is, sorry. Don't lower me. And that's in my little pride on me that I need to go away that, but I need to do that. But I will say, I am not sure what I need to study. I like everything. And it's very hard when somebody likes everything because I know that. Then what you need to do? Be clear, start something, and continue. Don't quit. Continue. Finish something, you can start something else. But don't commit the mistake, start every second something. Start and finish. Because if you start here, going to get in the time in your life that you didn't have anything and you don't know what are you. That is also for all of us. If you want to be successful on something, stick on that. And continue, follow, like the Lord said. Go forward. And this is the final thing, because in my own experience, this is Israel when they complain to God, why did you take us out? We could die, we would be better in Egypt than here. Here in the community, I am a family counselor too. And one time I had a family that came to me because they were having problem with a child. And we were trying to help the child to understand their responsibilities. And the answer of the child was to their parents, especially to their mother, I didn't ask you to be born. I didn't want to be born. You brought me here, and it's your responsibility to take care of me. We are living in a society today, or the society of the entitlement. We think that our parents owe us something because they brought us and they gave us life. Stop thinking in that way. You need to grow up and be responsible for yourself. That is what the Lord, our Creator, is telling to Israel. Stop complaining. Stop kibashing. Stop doing things. And mature and grow up. And we're going to see in all this, in this parasha, after, at the end of chapter 14, look at how it ended chapter 14. He say, and when Israel saw that all of this was happening, they have, they believed in the Lord and in his servant Moshe. After the miracle, they sing, that they dance, they created beautiful songs. That is the Shabbat Shirah today. And in chapter 16, immediately, when they left from Elim and they went to the desert of Sin, what happened? In the second month, the 15th day, they say, all the community of Israel complained. And this is not the only one. Then for food, then for water. Poor Moshe Rabbeinu. Why you have made me a leader of this bunch of losers? The Creator sometimes has a sense of humor too, no? Anyway, what have we learned from this? Are you static and doing nothing? Or are you proactive, doing something? Do you have something that can help other people? Why do you keep it yourself as a secret? How many of you has told me, thank you, Rabbi, for coming to this community. You don't have an idea what it means in my life now. My question to you is, what good does if you keep it for yourself? What good is that if you don't share that with others outside this community? And tell them that there is life, there is joy, and there is possibilities when we trust in the Creator and we can start acting in our own will. Instead to be defeated, we need to be winners. And that's what the Creator wants. Shabbat Shalom.